Hello, welcome back. It's Janelle from Infinite Potential Healing, and we are going to talk about the astrological outlook for April 12th through the 19th. This is a positive, optimistic energy. This is actually going to be one of the best weeks that we have had so far this year. So whatever you do, make sure that you are taking action, that you are taking steps, not just thinking about shit in your head, but actually taking action so that you can make sure that you are utilizing this super potent energy to its fullest potential. So starting out on the 13th, we have Venus making a sextile to Jupiter. So that's a cooperative aspect between Venus, who governs what we love and what we value, and Jupiter, who is often known as Big Papa Jupiter, the most benefic planet in the zodiac, the planet that constantly blesses us and causes us to expand. So this is a great day for dating. It's a great day for expressing love and heartfelt appreciation, not just in romantic relationships, but in all of our relationships. When was the last time that you told your friend circle how much you value, love, and appreciate them? When was the last time you said that to family members? So it's definitely a good day to harness that energy and to take advantage of that. We also have Mars conjuncting Neptune on the 13th, which means that our god of war, Mars, and our dreamy creative planet, Neptune, are hanging out together, super close, kind of maximizing the energy of both planets. So it's a really good time to be outgoing. It's a really good time to work towards your goals. You definitely want to be mindful to avoid impulsiveness and kind of making assumptions on the 13th with these transits. But again, put in the work, move towards your goals. Even seeming baby steps right now are going to reap dividends, massive dividends in the future. So a couple quiet days, and then we get to the 16th, and we have the sun conjuncting Chiron, wounded healer Chiron, which means the sun and Chiron are hanging out together, super close. And we also have Mars making a cooperative sextile to Pluto that day. So this very well, the 16th, might be the day that you finally cut the shit and get serious, get really real about your transformation. With the sun conjunct Chiron, the sun is going to shine light on what wounds do we have to transform. So whatever your inner wounds are, whatever your deepest wounds are, whatever your most toxic patterns happen to be, this is the day you want to get real about it and say, I'm fucking done with that. This is also a really good day for, being serious and really focusing on long-term goals, because again, we've got that Mars and that sextile with Pluto, so that's going to give us impetus, drive, really a strong desire to fight for whatever transformation we may need. So you can see how those two aspects together really form some potent energy to really help us with our transformation, with moving forward. So the moon also moves into Aries on the 16th, and that's joining the whole Aries lineup, the whole stellium that we have hanging out in Aries. So adding the moon to that gets our emotions on board with the position of the other planets, and it makes for a very productive day. So don't just get real and cut the shit with your own transformation, but get done as much as you possibly can on the 16th. Harness the energy. On the 17th, we have a new moon in Aries, and we also have Mercury conjunct Neptune, which means Mercury, who governs our intellect, our messages, the way we communicate, and transportation and electronics, is hanging out with dreamy creative Neptune. We'll talk about the new moon in a separate video because I don't want to get too overloaded in this one. But with these two aspects, you'll be drawn to beginning something, because that Aries new moon is really going to push us into wanting to begin something. It could also be something that you want to begin again, if maybe it's something that you didn't feel particularly energetically supported to pursue in the past, or something that maybe you just didn't have the motivation to pursue in the past. You definitely want to be mindful about misunderstandings with Mercury conjunct Neptune, because again, with Neptune being that dreamy energy, that creative energy, Neptune, ruling the sign of Pisces, things get a little unclear in that energy. And with Mercury hanging out super close to that energy, there could be misunderstandings, there could be miscommunications, and there could be a little bit of an element of the possibility for us potentially being misled. So definitely a day to lean in and trust your gut as well, trust your intuition. On the 18th, we have Mercury making a sextile to Pluto. So, again, that cooperative aspect. This is going to give us an aura of magnetism. So, good or bad, you are going to be magnetic on the 18th. What you draw to you is really going to depend a lot on your mindset, your lifestyle, your vibration, how much inner work you've done. So, if you find that you are kind of a magnet for people who are, maybe a little chaotic or some dumpster fire energy, definitely look inward and see why you're attracting that. See what's going on within yourself, within your own vibration that is causing you to potentially attract that. And if you attract all good stuff, well, then just keep up the good work. So with Mercury sextile Pluto on the 18th, it's also a good day for meetings, for get togethers, for talking about making long-term changes. And we want to talk about making long-term changes. We want to communicate and vibrate it outward through our throat chakra, because when we do that, that is really the first step in making things more tangible. And I'm not saying to continue to talk about this for years or days or weeks or months, but talk about it and follow it through with action, because all of this Aries energy right now that we have in this stellium, and with the new moon joining up with that Aries stellium, there is a push to action, a literal call to action in our lives. So it's cool to talk about it. We want to talk about it. It's definitely a first step, but we also want to make sure that we are following up anything that we are giving lip service to with actual, tangible, factual action. This is also a day where, with Mercury being sextile to Pluto, trips that we take could be transformative. And that does not have to be any kind of world traveling or vacation. That could even be a trip to the bank or the grocery store or the hardware store, or a trip to the office. So wherever you need to go, look at it as a trip, but also look at it as a journey, an adventure. Look at it as having the possibility, the potential, more so than usual, to be transformative. Lean into curiosity and see who and what you can discover, and how you can potentially utilize that energy and those meetings for transformation on the 18th. On the 19th, we have Mars conjunct Saturn. Again, meaning Mars is hanging out super close to Saturn, amplifying the energies of both Mars, our initiator, and Saturn, who's going to give us structure and discipline to get things done. This is going to be a busy day. It's also going to be a quirky day with lots of discussion because of the other transits that are going on. So make sure that your ideas actually take you somewhere. This isn't not a day to talk about things that, might someday happen, or your fairy tales that you keep in your head. This is a day to talk about and have discussion about things that are actually going to come to pass, or you actually want to manifest and want to come to pass. Make sure that your ideas are going to take you somewhere rewarding, instead of kind of just settling for, the mundane, or settling for things that you have settled for in the past. This is really a very potent moment with Mars conjunct Saturn to really plan your future. So make sure that you use Saturday to come up with a clear plan for your future, maybe even bounce it off of a couple of trusted advisors. And then Sunday, it is time to roll up your sleeves and get to work on the plan that you made on Saturday. So the energy this week is definitely energy of forward movement. It's energy of change, energy of transformation. This is the moment where you decide to take the proverbial bull by the horns and take ownership of your own life. So this week, it is all about conceptualizing the life that you want to lead, and to actually fucking get out there and start living it. I will see you on the other side.